Alright guys, how many times can I wear this Thriller shirt?
A lot.
I'm just obsessed with it, so I just have to wear it at least once or twice a week. Anyways, hey guys, what's up? I wanted to make a video about the We Are the World documentary that came out on Netflix called The Greatest Night in Pop. I actually filmed it and I watched it back. I didn't really like how I did it. I felt like the video was too short. So today we're going to be talking about that as well as other documentaries that I've watched. One of the documentaries I'm going to talk about is related to Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. So like, I don't know how to explain like what interests me. If I don't know a lot about it and I'm curious, I'll watch it. Anyway, so I was just gonna talk about documentaries, mainly on Netflix. I think actually all of them are on Netflix that I've seen. Let's start with The Greatest Night in Pop.
It's getting kind of hot in here.
Literally my favorite part was when no one had come in yet. None of the other people that were going to be singing on We Are the World had shown up. I'm pretty sure it was just Lionel and Michael just starts singing a cappella of We Are the World. I was like, oh my god.
I love this man and I have to have him.
He sounded so perfect. He's so beautiful. His voice is so amazing. I love him so much. I was so unwell during that part. I don't think it's on YouTube, so you actually have to watch the documentary to see that part. It just sounds so beautiful. Oh my god, I had never heard that before and it literally almost made me cry. Another thing in this documentary that like really killed me was definitely the ending. By the way, like spoiler alerts, you know, I'm sure you guys have seen this already though because it came out I'm pretty sure months ago. So the ending where, you know, Lionel Richie was talking about just how iconic that recording studio was, you know, in that moment. But now the fact that that night, like they can never recreate that night, it's very relevant to, you know, just life in general. People in that room that have since passed. Tina Turner's death was one that really made me sad because Tina is by far like my favorite female performer I think ever. She is just an incredible singer, showman. She's that bitch, honestly.
Mother.
I love her, and yeah, that killed me when they mentioned, you know, her death as well. Okay, on a lighter note, aside from, you know, them talking about all the people that have, you know, left us since that recording was made, Steve Perry, dude, I love Steve Perry a lot. I don't really know much about his personal life or anything, but Journey's music, Steve Perry's voice, like that shit blew me away. I already knew he was amazing, but just watching them rehearse it and Steve Perry's voice literally sounding perfect every single time was insane. Y'all know I gotta mention the part with Cyndi Lauper, and I cannot remember the other guy's name for the life of me, but you know the part I'm talking about. Well, like
Yeah.
I love Cyndi Lauper though. She's going on her last tour this year and I'm like, oh my god. That's sad, you know, that she's on her last tour. I mean, good for her, but yeah, it's crazy. Like her, Elton John, I'm just like, oh my god. I'm telling you, if Queen comes back to Atlanta, Queen and Adam Lambert, I will be going because I keep telling myself, like, I don't want to be morbid, but every time they come back, I'm like, I need to go because what if this is the last time? You know, like, I'm not trying to be depressing, but like, it's a thought.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
The snake part in the We Are the World documentary sent me. Michael just whipping out a snake. Lionel's like, oh hell no. I've actually held, I think, 2 snakes. It's kind of weird feeling, but I'm not really scared of them as long as they're not gonna like choke me. Like otherwise I'm fine. But they were really nice snakes. I don't know. Oh my god, I did not realize one of my cats was up there. I have a lot of love for older music. I feel like the way voices sounded then, the talent that people had then is just, I don't know if that can ever be recreated. There are artists today that I feel like are very talented and can really sing well, you know, and really perform well, 100%. That time is just really nostalgic to me, and it's funny because I was literally born in 1998, so like I was nowhere near like alive when that was going on, but you know.
We are going to pretend.
I'm gonna quickly go through the other 2 documentaries I've watched recently. Highly recommend watching these on Netflix. It's very unrelated to what I talk about on this channel, but the first thing is the Worst Roommate Ever Netflix series. I had watched season 1 like when that came out, which might have been a year or two ago, I don't remember. Very interesting. It's basically, that season was a lot focusing on squatters, which are basically people that you let into your home and then they don't leave, and there's nothing legally you can do about it, really. So that's freaky.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Yeah, that was mainly the focus on season 1. There was still some freaky stuff that happened for sure. It was really unsettling to watch. This season was literal murder was in it, which is crazy. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. The first episode was fucking insane, dude. This lady is getting injected by who she thought was her friend by stuff that she bought. Her friend had bought stuff on the dark web and was injecting her with the stuff on the dark web. She was injecting her with insulin to the point where she was like having to go to the hospital and almost dying. She got MRSA, and then this lady, I forget what the worst version of MRSA is called, but she had bought that to inject her with. Mulberry, are you good?
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
Okay, well, he landed on his feet, so good for him. Yeah, she was gonna inject her with this, like, more deadly bacteria. And then take her child. She had, like, her life insurance policy was gonna take her child. So I highly recommend watching that if you like really disturbing, weird shit. Because it was honestly really sad, but it was also very entertaining, I'm not gonna lie, even though it was extremely traumatic and horrible that these people went through this and their families. On a lighter note, I'm gonna end with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders documentary, which I was actually lucky enough to see them when they came to Texas with Queen and Adam Lambert, so that was iconic. They're also pretty and talented. So I knew like they were amazing dancers. They had a lot of stamina. They were very flexible. Like, they are athletes in my opinion. Like, that shit is not, I could never do that shit in my life. Like, I do very basic workouts.
You can't do it! I can't. You are stressing me to hell.
These girls they're strong, they're, you know, agile, like, they are amazing, and they're very hardworking. This documentary was really good, but it also royally pissed me off. I'm so tired of rich people doing the most and, like, being greedy and not giving a shit about people and having the worst morals ever, because that's literally the Charlotte girl that makes the final decisions for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. She's wearing the nicest shit. Meanwhile, these girls that literally make them what they are, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders themselves, are like working full-time jobs, doing that shit, which is basically a full-time job, like, period. And they're not getting paid well. Like, why in the 80s were they getting paid like $35 for a singular game? I think in the 80s the choreography wasn't as hard for a little bit there, and then it, like, as the years went on, got harder and harder. And it's just like, okay, if you're gonna make the requirements more difficult, like the way they look, the choreography that they learn, the way they execute it, like, you should be paying them more. You should be paying them more.
What are you doing with this whole thing in here like this? What are you doing? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Somebody on there said that, I forget her name, but she said that they get paid like the same amount as a full-time Chick-fil-A employee.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I was not feeling that, but I will say I loved all the cheerleaders. Justice for Veronica. No, I always want to call her Veronica. Her name is Victoria. Justice for Victoria. I love her. I also really loved Reese, even though I'm not a religious girly. Like, Reese actually seemed like not a fake bitch. Like, she seemed like a really nice person. She did not seem fake whatsoever. I just fell in love with, like, her happiness. And I also really loved Anisha. Spoilers. She got cut. Really, really sad. She was an orthodontist. She was so pretty. She was so talented. I loved her.
We were all rooting for you!
But yeah, I highly recommend watching that. It's frustrating, but it's also really entertaining to watch. And I really hope those girls that are on that team right now end up getting paid better. I hope that the girls that had to have hip surgeries for one of the moves that they do where they, like, jump in the air and do a split, I hope that Charlotte fucking pays for their hip surgeries, because that was insane.
Told you I'd get revenge. Let the ruin begin. Feel the rue.
Okay, y'all, I think I'm done. I didn't want to like give away too much, but I also wanted to kind of let you guys know what these documentaries were about. I'm sure you guys have already watched Greatest Night in Pop, but definitely check the other two out. I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will probably be back with a photo card binder video for my BTS and my Tail collection. So bye guys, see you then.